On a number of occasions, we've talked about the fact that when it comes to like local politics, indeed, crossing the aisle, where it is seen as like a big deal in, the House of Commons, at a local town hall, if someone suddenly decides, right, I'm becoming an independent, right, I'm becoming this, barely raises an eyebrow. However, you should be aware. You should be very, very aware of this because we saw this back in the May 2024 general election where we saw councillors who were conservatives run as independents, win as an independent, and then go, I'm a conservative now. I'm joining the conservative. Now, when I would definitely say this at a local election, independents have a very, very good chance to win. Purely because you look at voting numbers, you look at voter turnout. You only need, what, 200 votes in some cases to win? In some areas, it's very, very easy to win as an independent if you're willing to put the work in. But this is where the danger, of course, comes in. Because how many of these councillors who may maybe run as independent may suddenly, like 2 or even 3 days or even a week after election day, all of a sudden, I'm Reform UK now. Or change their party allegiance. I hate this. I hate this. This is done. I've said this before. It should automatically trigger a by-election. I do not think it is fair on the constituents of a local borough or a constituency to suddenly go, well, I'm going to vote independent because I don't want to vote for any of these main parties, and then all of a sudden the guy changes to Reform or whatever. Pick your allegiance. It's completely unfair. It should trigger a by-election, but we've got some stuff going on which I think is even sneakier. And I think, honestly, at the next local election in May, I say this with seriousness, if you are planning to vote independent, then you should do your homework. You should do your maximum possible homework you can. Go to any hustings, try and question them if they do door knocking, talk to them, make sure that they aren't suddenly going to switch to a different party randomly just because they think they'll get something out of it. Be very, very careful at the next election because of that. And like I say, if you do really want to vote independent, then please, 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 please do your homework first. Because otherwise, you might vote independent, and then all of a sudden, your guy now becomes a Reform UK. And, well, you didn't want to vote for Reform UK, but you voted for the independent. He's now switched. How's that fair on you? So, do your homework. So, before we get on to today's little story of a independent councillor who now has pretty much outed himself as a member of Reform UK, I wonder why I had that intro about that. But yes, please do, of course, remember to click on the like, share, and of course the subscribe button all down below. It does really help out the channel. Don't forget to, of course, ring the bell as well to get notifications of when we go live. And of course, down below, there is the Patreon page, there's the Buy Me Coffee link, there's the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the YouTube membership button as well. We've also got the QR code up here, which will take you straight to the Patreon page. As always, thank you very, very much. Do leave a comment down below as well. It helps. And of course, thank you very much to everyone who does help and support the channel. Right, let's crack on then into this, because there's been some, shenanigans on this council. I don't think this is right. I think this councillor should, after revealing this, step down, quite frankly, because he is an independent, and he admitted so in this. So councillor admits a Reform membership now in flag debate. So a prominent councillor has now admitted he is a member of Reform UK during a very heated debate about permanently flying the Union flag. John Edwards, who represents the Owlsmore and Sandhurst Town Council, submitted a motion to install a flagpole to now permanently fly the Union flag at the town's Memorial Park. This request was made following Operation Raise the Colours activism, which saw people flying the UK and St George's flags from across lampposts throughout the country. Often, of course, without the permission of local councils, which, of course, is a big no-no under the Highways Act. Doing things like that can create an obstruction on this. However, this debate, of course, then got very heated when fellow councillors then questioned his political affiliations and the motivation for the motion, which was then discussed at a strategy and policy meeting on September the 25th. Councillor Lee Quigg from the Liberal Democrats said it's happened recently under the Raise the Colours organisation, which is a very far-right organisation linked to Tommy Robinson, so we can't ignore that. I have been contacted by a resident who felt very intimidated by those flags. So it is obvious and more that one more comment now has been made to me about them that is very divisive. It is a shame because it is our flag. Councillor Mike Foster from the Liberal Democrats then accused the motion of being very politically motivated, which again it is. He said, "No one, of course, wants to allow this flag, our flag, to become now the centre of an argument in this town." Councillor then Foster then asked whether Councillor Edwards is a Reform UK member and a campaign manager, which he then admitted. Councillor Foster said, "If he is, we don't want anything to do with it." While Councillor Edwards is a Reform member, he currently remains an independent on the town councillor. Chipping in, Councillor Quigg said, two don't go, of course, hand in hand. Councillor Hazel Hill from the Conservatives said, "I'm looking now at the current situation and I have now some more comments. As at the moment, with the flags flying in the town, it is already causing distress now for those of foreign descent." It was then after this exchange that Councillor Edwards then admitted his party affiliation. He said, "Yes, I am a member of Reform, but I am not a Reform councillor. That may change." I hate when they do this. I really do, but I've pretty much gone on that. I've still that soapbox at the beginning, so back to this. But of course, I am not whipped by them. I am their campaign manager. Oh well, I'm not a person holding their whip. I'm not a Reform councillor, but I am their campaign manager. But seem to be doing their bidding on this, as we've seen from a lot of other councils that are Reform at the moment. Councillor Edwards then, of course, added that he found Councillor Foster's tone very, really combative and intimidating. The councillors then ultimately voted against the motion to now permanently fly the Union flag at Sandhurst Memorial Park, with only Councillor Marco Boldhurst, the Conservative, supporting it. Gee, I wonder if this councillor is going to switch as well eventually. The website Electoral Calculus does predict that Bracknell, which is the constituency that is in Sandhurst is in, will, of course, be a Reform gain, with Labour MP Pete Swallow now losing his seat. It is also predicted that nearby Slough will also switch from Labour to Reform. We'll see. Like I say, the next general election is a long way away. Don't count your chickens before they hatch and all that. But the big one, of course, is the May local election. I think they will pick up a fair few. I've said this before. I think they will pick up a fair few. I unfortunately think they're going to pick up my hometown, which, oh boy, get ready for lots of stuff about my hometown if that happens. But of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about this. Are you from this area? What do you think about this, quote, independent councillor? Yeah, he's going to switch at some point. He is going to switch at some point. Put him on watch, but I am not surprised. I will not be surprised if he switches, to be honest. In fact, I would very probably likely put money on the fact he is going to switch. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.